back to Pwn TV, everyone. I'm here on Octagon with some Dragon Ball Super, and I made a new deck profile for the Mono Blue Starterku deck for the Set 6 release, and this is the version 10 of the Starterku deck design that I've put together over a month or so. And I personally think that this is the most interesting build yet. A lot of the other builds were very control-y, very negate heavy, and they really wanted to just throw negates out to stop the opponent from doing what they're doing. Well, the downside to doing that is you do stall, but you also lose a card from hand and almost always never replace it. So the deck's weakness was not having a hand size, and if they matched up against anyone that had a hand destruction oriented deck, then they would really struggle, as do most decks actually. So what this deck does is it capitalizes, it takes all of the bells and whistles from all of the other 9 versions of the Starterku decks that I've come out with, and it capitalizes on the strength of that deck at its core is the milling mechanic and the discarding mechanic, the hand hate mechanic and the deck hate mechanic that the deck has, that this deck has. So that's what I capitalize on, and I actually try to push that in this 50 card list. So if you could see the top row, we actually use the same cards from all of the other versions, more or less. This is basically straight out of version 9, and I cut some cards out and I added the bottom row, which we'll get to. So basically, the North Kai I've been moving back and forth between super combos, and I think they're both quite good depending on what list you run. But with this list, I do run overwhelm cards, so I really want to stray away from sparking 5 super combos. So I'm not using the Great Saiyamans that I was using in version 9. I'm just using the plain old North Kais. I really like it. It's tried and true. Okay, we have the 4 Babidis, Overseer of Destruction. This is a core card. You have to mulligan for this. I will throw away all 6 cards if there's not a Babidi in my hand. You need this card really, really bad because it puts you on curve. Really something fierce, it puts you on curve. Okay? Moving forward to turn 2, if you got the Babidi on turn 1, you have these 3-drop and 4-drop plays that you could start doing. On my previous list, I ran multiple play sets of the 3-drop Agents of Destruction. There are several, so I ran multiple sets of these. But in this list, I actually trimmed all the fat, even Sluggy Boy, regrettably so, and I actually just went with Android 13. Android 13 is an amazing card. I've been talking about it in my previous videos. This card has an activate main that literally, the entire card in general is just a summation of all of the other Agents of Destruction. It's a Frankenstein card. This is what this is. Android 13 is a Frankenstein Agent of Destruction. He has the critical from Janemba. He has the KO effect from Majin Vegeta, and he also has the hand hate effect from Lord Slug, all on one card. Okay, so why even run the other ones, right, when this can basically do all of them? So I'm definitely going to keep running 4 Android 13s, and this deck is going to focus more on getting Android 13 out and putting him online. That's the goal. And so some of the cards we added into version 10 brew is actually going to help this Android 13, and we will get to that. It's quite spicy. Okay, so for your 3-drop, because again, Babidi takes the reduction, the energy cost and reduces it by 1, so this 4-drop is a 3-drop if Babidi's out. So on turn 3, you're playing the Janemba. The Janemba is just going to happen. It's untapping energy, it's drawing you cards, it's doing critical 20k swings, and worst case scenario, it's 5k defensive combo power for free. So, amazing card, really love it, and you can deck your opponent out with it because they mill 3 when you activate this. It replaces itself with a draw, and they mill 3. Amazing, amazing card. Love that it has crit and all this other fancy shit, and so I'm going to be playing 4. I tried playing less than 4, I liked it, but I always regretted not having it, so 4 is good. Now, to round out the Agent of Destruction package, I'm just running the 8 Agents of Destruction in this brew, not 10, not 12, nothing insane, nothing wild, just 8 Agents of Destruction. The best, in my opinion. 4 critical Agents of Destruction here, and 4 more critical Agents of Destruction here. Good, okay? 8 copies, and then we're running the Arcane Boo. The Arcane Boo, simply because I own it in real life, I can play the deck, so I'm playing this card as a one-off. This is an amazing card. Basically, if you haven't watched my previous videos, it's very simple. You just get to turn 6, you tap 6 energy, you go ahead and put a Babidi underneath him, and then you play him. You just play him on top of that Babidi. And so you have the Babidis here. They're usually gone by turn 6, so you can simply just get them from the drop or the warp and play them, and then you do this guy. And what's great about him is he can pull cards out of your drop and replay them as long as they're Agents of Destruction. He could do 5 of them. He can hit 5 Agents of Destruction and play them bitches for you. Great. Okay, in my previous list, I had a lot of Enter the Battlefield effects, like Vegeta and like Lord Slug, and this list, not so much. So this Arcane Boo is automatically a bit more nerfed than he was in version 9. But that's okay, because he only is one of our win conditions, and if he resolves at all, I'm getting my Janembas back, and I'm going to continue with the tempo pressure that I have, and maybe even just deck the opponent right then and there. So he's not really shooting himself in the foot, cutting all of the other Agents of Destruction out. He's just playing the critical Agents of Destruction, and the ones that are really good are the Janembas, because obviously you only need one Android 13 in play. Granted, they all have crit. If you have to get 4 Android 13s for this effect, then you do it, but honestly, you're going to want to get your 4 Janembas and then maybe an Android 13, and then that's going to be your 5 targets. That's essentially what you would want to do with Arcane Boo in this list. So that's what you would do. Now, moving forward to other win conditions, you have the Furthering Destruction Champa as a one-of. Definitely, my friends won't let me take this card out. I can't, in good conscience, take this card out either. It's Double Strike. You have so many crit sources to put Double Strike on. Your leader can do it. Your one-drops that swing in can do it. You can blindside them and kill them with this pan, for example. So it's just, why not? So another win condition in the form of Champa for the late game Double Strike trick. Okay, 2 more cards in the win condition slots. This is our alternate win con. At all costs Vegeta. I've been talking about it, how I really don't like 1, how I really would like to always run 2 because I really like the number at 2, and so this deck is running 2. I'm staying true to the 2 of at all costs Vegeta. This card smashes face. It simply smashes face. It replaces itself, it untaps energy, and it KOs some shit. It's doing everything you need to do in a tempo deck. In a mono blue control deck, it's doing everything you need it to do. And then it's also got triple strike when you activate it, so you can grab some life cards, awaken if you haven't already, and triple strike to their face. They're gonna lose cards in some way, shape, or form, or you're winning the game. Basically, that's how this plays out. They might fill their hand up, but that's fine. We have answers to them filling their hand up. Not a problem. So this triple strike is nuts. If it hits them, it's mega value for you. It's always going to be mega value for you if this hits. Okay, moving on. So we have to have some early game way to awaken, and honestly, because of the way the deck is designed, I really have a lot of 1 or 2 of energies available on turns 1, 2, 3, and 4. Moving forward to the Vegeta turn, I always have an energy available for the pan. So why not play the pan? It's another way to grab cards, just like the Vegeta and some of the other stuff we added for card draw. So it's just another cantrip, which is just a card that draws more cards. Yes, it's taking it from your life, but you're still winning with that play in most cases. 15k, you can swing at something that's tapped on the board. Maybe they're playing an aggro deck. They're going to have tapped battle cards. You can just kill them right then and there. You don't have to plus the opponent's hand. You really never have to plus the opponent's hand. And if you ever want to play this to get yourself a life card, and you have to plus the opponent's hand by swinging at him, just swing it at him and call it a day and let it happen. It's 1 card that they're going to net. If they net it, that's fine because you both lost a life in that case. So I'd say that's a win, honestly. And you have board presence for the turn and then combo power in the hand because at end of turn, pan comes back. That's your charge for the next turn. That's your defensive 5k combo bump. Why wouldn't you play this? It's just hand advantage altogether. It's literally like a legendary flute. If you think about it, Awakening Talent Pan is like a legendary flute, and so why not play it in the deck? Flute is so good, it's banned. So let's play this card. So I'm playing this card. It's the blue Saiyan Kaba, the blue Youthful Trunks, whatever the hell you want to call it. The blue equivalent. Doesn't have any fancy tech other than it bounces back to hand, but I like it like that. All of my other versions ran 3, so I'm going to run 3 in this list only because I had room, and I couldn't think of anything else to put in that slot, and I said, why the hell not? This is going to be superior hand advantage when I'm running these as a 3 of. So that's what we're playing. Now, for the negate package and the extra package in general, we have 4-dimension magics. That is core. You have to run 4-dimension magics in this deck. I tried other versions, other numbers on different versions, but you have to run 4. It's so good. Being able to pull a life card whenever you want means you can't get stalled out. You can untap double blue with this card, so that's amazing. That opens up your Mafuba play. That opens up your 10k for 1 combo cards, all this sorts of things. So you gotta play this card if you're playing blue. It's just so good. So you might notice I don't have Whis' Coercion in this deck. This is literally a reprint of Whis' Coercion. So why would you want 8 copies of Whis' Coercion when you could just keep 4 better copies of Whis' Coercion? Granted, in a multicolor deck, Whis' Coercion is probably going to be superior because it can untap a different color, but let's be real, this is mono blue. No reason for Whis' Coercion, honestly. Honestly, there's just not. So, Dimension Magic, no Whis, that just gives me more power on the board in the form of 5 case, which we will get to in the bottom row. Okay. 4 Senzu Bean, very core, very standard. Defensive 5k pumps, multiple of them can be used to get past like a blitz deck that's trying to play like 10, 15k dudes all at once. Like they play a dozen 15k beaters and they try to heal you. Like that doesn't work with Senzu Bean. You just stack Senzu Beans and you call it a day, and they have to dump their hand to get over you, and every single time they turn their guy sideways, every one of their guys, they have to just dump more cards from their hand to get over that Senzu Bean play. They're just not going to get it. So you got to play 4, so that way you always have the double Senzu Bean play against hyper aggro decks. That's just why you play 4. Otherwise, if you're playing against the slower deck, you probably just charge these, or you use them to extend your turn, and you don't really keep them in hand. They're not super duper good in hand against anything other than aggro, in my opinion, after testing. Now, the last card that's from the version 9 and every other version is the Mafuba. I was playing 4 in version 9. I thought that was quite high and quite insane. I liked it at 3. I did like it at 4, though. I had no problem with 4 Mafubas. Granted, my win rate did go down when I put 4 Mafubas in. I took note of that, and I decided to try out just 2 Mafubas. I also reread some of the cards that I was originally intending to target with Mafuba in the future, and those are the Broly cards from set 6, Destroyer Kings. These Broly cards literally say on them, not the 6-drop, but the 8-drop and so on, they say you can't, well, excuse me, the 4-drop is not immune to Mafuba. You can cast a Mafuba on the 4-drop. I do believe, though, that the 6 and the 8-drop and all those other higher-end ones have a specific auto that specifically says you can't activate. Opponents cannot activate counter attack cards that cost 2 or more. I'm not sure exactly if that eliminates Mafuba because this is a counter battle card attack. It's not exactly the same thing, but when I looked at it, I was like, why risk it? Not a big deal. Mafuba's great to shut down Broly in the early game because they don't have that counter effect cards that cost 2 or more. Actually, I'm going to pull the card up really quick and show you so we can read it together. That way I know what I'm talking about when I say counter battle card attack versus the other ones. So let me just load this really quick. Yeah, card attack. So we're going to go ahead and look up Broly. I think that I'm actually already on camera, so just go to the card specifically I'm thinking of. That's by Destroyer Kings? Okay, so look at it. Alright, so let me go ahead and pull up my other window real quick, so you guys can see what I'm talking about right now. Okay, alright, so now that I have this pulled up, let's look at this really quick. So basically, here's what we got. We have some Destroyer Kings Brolys that we have to worry about. Now, the 8-drop ultimate card that you can have 1 of in deck, everyone runs 1 if they're playing Broly. They should if they have it. You can Mafuba this guy, no problem. He doesn't have anything that says that you can't counter him, so you can Mafuba him. Not a problem, that will blow them out, probably. Okay, if you know, you're dumping your hand anyway with this card when it hits you with that auto when it swings, so you might as well Mafuba, because it's just going to get dumped anyway. Now, other Brolys that you have Berserker Origins. This card is the 4-drop that they go in from the 1-drop to this particular 4-drop. You can Mafuba both of those. You can Mafuba the 1-drop, sure, that sets them back a turn, and you can also Mafuba the 4-drop, not a problem. Now, when you get up to the 6-drop, it says permanent. During battles where this card is attacking, your opponent can't activate counter skills with energy costs of 2 or more. So yes, it's just blanket counter skills, so that does include Mafuba. It's an umbrella counter skill activation, permanent effect on this card. So anything that says counter : whatever, it cannot be activated during this card's attack. Only during this card's attack. So 2 or more, that is a Mafuba. Mafuba costs 2. So you can't play the Mafuba on this 6-drop Broly or this 8-drop Broly right here either. They're probably playing both, and when they get to that turn, you're not going to be able to Mafuba those. They're just not going to be Mafuba targets. So since they're not Mafuba targets, you probably shouldn't run 4, because you're probably going to be staring at 4 Mafubas when they run out their 6 and their 8 drops, and you're probably auto losing because unless neither of you catch it and it just happens for whatever reason, which would be an illegal play. But I think I've done it before and nobody caught it because I just found out about this myself. I don't even know if anyone else knows. But yeah, you can't Mafuba the 6 and the 8 drops specifically because of the permanent on them. So that sucks. But, so I cut it down to 2 Mafubas like everyone else is playing 2 Mafubas. So I might as well play 2 Mafubas and not run the extra 2 because I only put them in for the Broly matchup. And now that I know it's really not so good except for on the 4 drop, I don't think I need 4. So that's what we're doing. We only have the 2 Mafubas in the deck, and I'm happy with that. That freed up a lot of space, though. Doing this sort of thing, we freed up a lot of space. So, go ahead and awaken our leader and go to the late game. So the bottom row here. So this is what we've got going on. Okay, so naturally, Soul Striker untaps 2 energy when he attacks. You probably want to continue controlling the game so you don't swing at their leader. Typically with this, you swing at any of their tapped battle cards if they have any, and then you just untap blue energy, and then you draw cards with this effect. And so you're untapping 2 blue energy, right? So you really want to put really good 1 and 2 drops in your deck to kind of use that blue energy wisely. So before you swing, you can tap a 1 drop and play a 1 drop, or you could play a 2 drop, something like this. So I added more 1 and 2 drops to the deck. Really good 1 and 2 drops. So we have 3 objections. That's kind of standard. If you're playing objection, you run 3 copies. I think it's perfect in this deck. I'm paying 2, I'm pitching an extra card, but I added more card draw to the deck, so it's fine. I'm pitching an extra card to the energy zone, and then I'm swinging my leader. I'm either untapping 1 or 2, depending on if I'm awakened or not, and so basically it's paid for. The objection's already paid for at that point, and now I'm building towards the drop, which gets me towards some of these black overwhelm cards. Okay, so it's really nice. And then the 4 energy boosted Majin Buu. I cut the Whis' coercion out. Here you go. I think this is better. It's like I have the 5k combo power on the board, and also I have a draw effect. Every time that I play this, I draw a card. So that's going to just fill up my hand for objection. It's going to fill up my hand for just everything that I need. If I'm really short getting my Android 13, maybe they removed the first one and I need another one, I could just draw more cards with the Buu and grab another copy of Android 13 potentially, and that's just going to be really nice, right? And while I'm drawing these cards, I'm probably comboing them as well, which is filling up my drop even faster. So because I'm running the Majin Buu, and it's just a draw 1 combo for 5, that's like potentially 2 more cards in my drop in the same turn, plus the objection alongside of it, that's 3. That's like half of a Fu, so why not run Scientist Fu? So I put Scientist Fu back in the deck. I had it cut since like version 3, I think, and I put it back in the deck, and I think it's just fine in this deck, honestly. 1 drop, get rid of 7 cards, and draw 2 more cards. That's 2 more answers. That's like I'm drawing deep in my deck with this list, and that's double strike damage that they probably can't get over. And you don't even have to swing it immediately. You can draw and then look at 5 or 6 other plays that you have available, and then maybe even swing your leader to draw more cards and untap more energy, and then you could decide to swing the Fu or not. Maybe you combo them to the drop. Maybe you swing them for double strike. It just depends. What if they say like, oh, tap 1, combo for 10, play a 3-drop 15k tapped guy. You know, your combo enters the battlefield, guys. Maybe they play that. Well, it's entering tapped, so now you just swing the Fu at it. It's dead. You don't even care anymore. It's like mega value for you, and they don't get the 2 cards off of their life from the double strike swing. Unless, of course, that's lethal, and then in which case you would want to do the double strike to the leader life total. But in most cases, it's not going to be lethal, especially in a control match where you're stalling their awakening condition. I'm not trying to awaken them. I'm trying to get to like 6 energy or 7 energy and then awaken them. That's what I'm trying to do with this list. So this is just another way to play Scientist Fu, in my opinion. Also, the Scientist Fu can actually, when it comes down and overwhelms all of the cards, any of the agents of destruction that were actually put in the warp with the Scientist Fu overwhelm mechanic, those agents of destruction are still targets for Arcane Buu, because Arcane Buu literally says from the drop area or the warp, so you can play them from the drop or the warp. So when you overwhelm and you get rid of all of your agents of destruction and all of your Bobbities and all that stuff, it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect your Arcane Buu in the slightest, because your Arcane Buu can still look at the warp zone and grab those cards from the warp zone instead of the drop area. Not a problem. And what's even better is the Janemba, if it is played from the warp specifically, or your hand, but from the warp, not the drop. If it's played from the warp, if the Janemba's played from the warp, you can actually untap an energy at the end of turn. So you play the Arcane Buu after you played the Scientist Fu, right? And then you can actually grab the Janembas from the warp and then you could play those from the warp, and then also trigger their auto to actually play untap energy at end of turn. So that's just extra mechanics that Scientist Who has simply because it's an overwhelm card. So just overwhelm mechanic in general works really well, has good synergy with this deck because of the Janimbus added to the deck. Still really good, especially when it comes down on like turns 5 and 6 when you get that far, and you probably will with a list like this. Quite easy to get that far. Now, why not? This card is basically banned. You can run one in your deck, Unyielding Spirit Trunks. I decided what the hell, I had a space in my deck when I started making cuts. I decided I would run this, I would try it out. I think it would work really good in this deck. I'm playing the blue leader I'm required to play Unyielding Spirit Trunks. Every other blue leader always plays one of Unyielding Spirit Trunks right now because it's banned for a reason, basically, or restricted to one of for a reason. It's really good. There's just a lot of plays that you have with the Unyielding Spirit Trunks, and we'll talk about that once I bring up all of these other cards. Now, 3 more copies of Awe-Inspiring Intimidator SSB Vegito. This is basically locking the board down. This is basically like, it might as well be the doggos, but only in 3 copies, only in 3 cards. It's not like a 12 card all trio to dangers list. Like, that's not, I don't have room for that. So no doggos, no Bergamo, even though Bergamo would be nuts. I'm playing this guy. Why? Okay? Well, he's drawing me cards. Only if you have 5 or more life. Hello, objection. Not a problem. Okay? So he's drawing me cards. Alright? He's also allowing you to not swing at my leader. Most of the leaders that are in the metagame right now have the effect when they swing at a leader card, draw a card. Okay? Well, you're preventing that. So, amazing. Also, some of the other leaders are the Shenron leaders, and they're trying to give triple attack to one of their beaters. That beater has to swing at this guy to kill him with one of those triple attack swings. You can just combo out of the damage probably and then not worry about it. It's 20k power on this guy. Their guy's probably 35. That's 2 super combos and you're good. So you could just eat the triple attack with just the Vegito. There's so many reasons to play him. My friends won't let me take him out. Now that I showed this card to them and I was like, should I play it? Should I play it? I've seen it played before, but I've never really played it because I've never really played blue before. But now I've been playing a lot of blue and I think I could see why people play this card or used to play this card. Should I play it? Should I play it? I've got 4 copies in my trade binder. I should play it, right? So yeah, we put in 3 and I like it. I really do like it. The fact that it draws a card is what makes it for me, honestly. And it has barrier when it's tapped. I don't even really, honestly, when I play this deck, I don't even always tap this guy. Honestly, sometimes I just use him for card draw, and then I leave him untapped on the board because I'm not scared of my opponent. Maybe and I'll explain why once we finish the list. Maybe he just doesn't have any threats, right? So I don't even have to give him a card from his life total. Maybe that's what the game state is, and I just don't want to give him a life card. So yeah, so you don't have to even turn this guy sideways. It's still good. Now, the last cards in the list, questionable. Questionable cards indeed. Scratch your head for a minute while I show you Terrible Creator Android 20 and try to figure out why I might be playing this card. Why am I playing Terrible Creator Android 20? Why? Why would I do this to myself? I have 3 copies only because I only own 3 copies. I would run 4. But as you can see, my 4th copy is actually another questionable card. Why? Why would you do this? Why? Why am I playing this in the main board? I don't even understand. Okay, honestly, I'm playing this deck tonight. I don't have 4 Terrible Creator Android 20s, so I'm running 3 Terrible Creator Android 20s and 1 Tactical Vegeta, Victory Vegeta. Now, I still haven't told you why. You still haven't figured it out either. Okay, so Tactical Victory Vegeta, really quick, instantly just gets rid of any field card that I want for a green and a colorless. So I play a 15k guy for a green and a colorless, and I can kill a field card. Why is that relevant? Well, most people are playing field cards in the metagame right now, and a lot of them are playing field cards that say, Planetum 2, tap, kill your 5k guy. Granted, my 5k guy has barrier. That's not going to be an issue. You're not killing my 5k Babidi. But you can kill my energy boosted Majin Buu and piss me the fuck off. So yeah, maybe I'm playing a field destruction card. Yeah, because I want that extra 5k combo power, you jackass. I'm not going to let you just keep neg-5ing my Buu. I got more respect for this Buu than that. Come on now. I'll put 1 dead card in my fucking deck just to get around Planet M2, just so you can't snipe all 4 of my Boos. Why not? And if you're not sniping my boo, you're giving me a minus 5k on my leader or anything else, and come on, man, I don't want to deal with that shit, so let's just get rid of the field card. Also, fun fact, if you're playing doggos or like Frieza's spaceship, anything that has any field card in it, I can just blow it up before you get your combo out. And you probably charged your second copy, so you don't have any more in your deck. This could fuck you in the ass. Otherwise, it's a green charge, which is perfect because if they're not playing field cards, I'd still need a green card for Terrible Creator Android 20, which I still haven't told you why I'm running, and you probably still haven't figured it out. Let's read this card. Okay, green, colorless. Alright, got the green charge. Check. Colorless, I have blue. Check. 2 energy. Tap. Play this guy. Auto. When you play this card, choose up to 1 battle card, which includes Android in its card name other than Android 20, from your deck, and add it to your hand. Then, shuffle your deck. This literally says, pay 2 energy, which I'll later untap with my leader. Pay 2 energy, grab the card that I need to actually stall the game to victory. That is going to be Android 13. Hello? Let's look at your type really quick. It says Android / Agent of Destruction. Oh, wow. So it's an Android. So it's a fucking Android. Since it's an Android, I can just grab it out of the deck whenever I want. If you killed it, I can just get it back. I don't even care. There you go. Android 13 out of the deck. That's going to thin my deck list out. That's going to make all of my draw ones even better because I thinned the bad cards out of the way. And so I'm drawing even better shit. More super combos than you, more double strike chompas than you, more Vegetas, more everything, more negates, more sensu beans. Get wrecked. I'm doing this, and I'm doing it because I run the Terrible Creator Android 20, and I have a really fucking juicy target for him. So yes, this is what I'm doing. Tap 2, get Android 13, swing lead, untap 2. 5k combo power on board, and or 10k damage. Okay, great. Now, moving on. Moving on. How are we winning with this list? How is Android 13 so good? Okay, let's read him one last time. Together, shall we? Activate main for 2. Okay, 2 energy. There's your 2 energy again. Choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. Okay, fantastic. Anything I want that I can target, KO it for 2 energy. Anytime I want, not once per turn, by the way. Definitely note that, not once per turn. 2 energy, KO any fucking chosen target on my opponent's battle area. Doing it. It's dead. KO it. And then it gets better. Then your opponent chooses 1 card from their hand and places it in the drop area. Note that the effect at the beginning says choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. Choose up to 1. That means once you've killed everything with this effect, you can continue to tap 2 energy over and over again and make them drop card after card from their hand until they have nothing except for their hopes and their dreams on the floor smashed underfoot. That's how good Android 13 is, boys. That's how good he is. He's on tapping 2 with Starterku. He's on tapping energy with fucking Unyielding Trunks. He's getting replaced from the deck with the Terrible Creator Android 20. This guy's a monster, man. He's a monster, and he's gonna wreck your shit. By the way, I have more energy than you because I'm playing the objections. He's wrecking your shit. He's wrecking your shit. He's swinging. He's getting double strike chomping for double crit. He's sensu beating to untap 2 more energy. He's negging your hand again. He's doing everything, boys. He's doing everything. And then by the time he's done doing his shit, I'm playing the Arcane Boo and playing the Janimbas again, which you've probably been pissed off all game about as well, but you've been too busy being pissed off about the Android 13 to even really pay much attention to the Janimba. And then by the time Arcane Boo hits the field and 4 more Janimbas get played, you got no deck, boy. You're gone. You're done so. Get wrecked. What's the counterplay? Tell me the counterplay, please. You just stepped on a goddamn TMO shroom. That's it for the deck profile. Thanks for watching. It's MrOvergryph. I'm out. Peace